So, should we find out how I'm doing with those intentions? Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I thought I would do a little sit down and chat with you about my 2024 intentions, have a little look at how my reading goals are going, and we are going to do, I've had to write it down because the title was a little bit of a mouthful, I'm going to do the quarter year crisis book tag, which I've seen quite a few people doing, and it looks really fun. I think I did it last year, and I really like the questions. So before I get into all of that, usual disclaimer, it's spring, so I'm filming with the windows open, and there are motorbikes going past. There was someone cutting their grass a minute ago. The cats are running around like complete lunatics. So I do apologise if this video is chaotic, but if you've been here before, you know what to expect. Okay, so let's do some stats first of all before we get into the actual tag. I've got my notes. I'm really well prepared with my little bit of paper. Okay, so far this year I have read, up to the end of March, which is obviously the first quarter of the year, I have read 41 books, which is really good going. I'm ahead on my book challenge, so I've set my reading goal and my book goal at 150 books for the year. I also set a 50,000 page goal as well on StoryGraph. At the end of March, I was slightly behind. Spoiler, I did catch that up in April, but yeah, I was slightly behind on my page count. But I had read 13,818 pages up until the end of March, which is not bad going for the first 3 months of the year. And my average star rating was 4.09. So I'm reading quite a lot in terms of volume, but also I feel like I'm giving higher ratings than I used to. I feel like since I switched into doing half stars, I'm giving higher ratings, if that makes sense, because previously if something wasn't a 5-star, I would give it a 4. And if it wasn't a 4-star, I would give it a 3. So now having those half stars as a little barrier in between is raising my overall star ratings that I'm giving. My TBR, let's talk about my TBR. Well, on the 1st of January, we were at 42 books. As of the end of March, we were at 45 books. So it's gone up a little bit, but I am also reading a lot of the books that come in. So I'd hauled 31 books up to the end of March, because that's also something I track. So having read 41, having hauled 31, that's kind of okay. I would like to reduce the number of books hauled or have like a bigger margin. I want to read more books than I bring in, but I think that's okay. And actually hauling 31 books in the first 3 months of the year, I think that's pretty all right. So yeah, that was that little stat. And then I'm going to go through my intentions. So I'll put the original video below if you want to go and watch the whole thing, because I'm not going to go through all of these because I've already talked about some of them, but I just wanted to pull out some of the ones that some of the things that I set for this year. So my 2024 word is authentic. So that is something that I'm keeping very much at the forefront of my mind. Everything that I'm doing and putting online, I want to be authentic about it and be real about it and give my real feelings and only do things that feel like they fit for me and my channel. And I feel like I'm doing that so far, maintaining that. As I said, I've read 41 books. My goal is 150 for the year. And my fundraising, so charity fundraising is something I'm really focusing on this year. We've already raised, I need to check the account actually, but we've already raised around £400 for charity with this channel so far this year. In case you don't know, speaking of cats, Sav's just padding about. In case you don't know, this is a charity channel. So I donate 100% of my AdSense, 50% of any sponsored content, and 100% of my Etsy sales go into a separate bank account. And then on the 31st of December, I will donate it to our chosen charities. And yeah, we've raised about 400 quid so far, which is fantastic. We are fundraising this year for Crisis and for Shelter. No, we're not. We're doing Trussell Trust and Crisis. Did I write this in here? I don't know how I've managed to confuse myself with that. But yeah, we've raised about 400 quid so far, which is brilliant. What else? I did say I wasn't going to run through all of these, and now I appear to be running through all of these. I've been saving £1 per book read. And initially I was going to do, I've put book shopping in brackets here, but I think what I'm going to do at the end of the year, I'm going to, I used to donate that money as well. And then a lot of you were like, you should keep that money for yourself and do something with it, which I was a bit reluctant to do. But now what I'm thinking I might do is, and obviously so far I've saved £41 because I've read 41 books, is book myself in for a massage in January. I feel like that would be such a nice treat. And if I get to 150 books or more, then I will have enough money in that pot to do that. And that'll be a nice little treat. I also wanted to keep my TBR to below 50 books. So we have managed that. The TBR has grown slightly, but we're not over that 50 book mark yet. Although I feel like if my book buying habits continue, that might go over, but at the moment we're doing okay. No books older than 6 months. This is one that I need to focus on because the oldest book on my TBR at the end of March was Sorry Bro, which I got in September of last year, so that's 7 months old. I mean, it's not drastic, but it's also not the target, the intention that I'd set for myself, so I need to focus on that. Keeping up with the arcs I have done and completing the reread challenge is going really well. One thing that's definitely changed this year with my reading so far is rereading. I'm thoroughly enjoying rereading, and I'm also not just sticking to the books that I picked out in my challenge, because again, I'll link that video in the description, but I've got in my book journal, I've got the 24 books I picked out, and I've like assigned months to them because I am a planner. I like to know what I'm going to read. And I haven't just been sticking to this. I have kept up with it. So at the end of March, I'd reread 6 books. So it was, you know, bang on target. But I've also just been reading other things as well. I'm currently just finishing in April a reread of the Helen Field's Perfect series, which is the Luke Kalmack series. I'm thoroughly enjoying that. And it's just so nice to go back to stories I already know. And that's something that I definitely missed last year. So I'm really glad it's become part of my reading life again. So yeah, those are all of the stats and the intentions that I just wanted to whip through. And then we're going to do the quarter year crisis, a book tag. So I saw quite a few people do this. I've got, excuse me, I've got the screen up here with the questions on it. So loads of people do it. I'm taking the questions from where Alice and the Giant Bookshelf did it. So I will link her video. The original creator was, I feel like it was Roisin's, yeah, Roisin's Reading, who I will also tag. I'll tag anyone I mention in the description, and I will also put the questions there so that you can see them and do them if you feel like it. So some of these questions I've kind of already answered in my opening waffle. So how many books you've read so far this year? 41. Very happy with that number. Have you already found a book that you think might be a 2024 favourite? If not, what was your favourite book you read that wasn't quite a 5-star? So I'm going to use this book to answer a question in a minute as well. But this so far is my favourite read of 2024. And I did not have this on my bingo card, okay? This is The Hobbit by J.R. Tolkien. You can see that I enjoyed it because I tabbed the absolute life out of it. And so far, this is my favourite read of the year. I always pick out one book each month. So January was Heartstopper Volume 5, February was The Hobbit, and March was Garlic and the Witch. And you can see all of those vlogs. I'll link my reading vlog wrap-up thing playlist again in the description. But this is definitely my favourite book so far this year, and I was not expecting to love it. So yeah, I'll talk about it a little bit more in a minute. But so far, this is my book of the year. Plot twist. Okay, any 1-star books, least favourite book of the year. I haven't had a 1-star book. I did give 2 stars to The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager, which I hated. I can't lie. I read it when I went to see Chloe. And then in my February wrap up, there is a spoiler section where I fully rant because I feel like it's a book that I can't explain fully why I hated it without giving spoilers. But yeah, The House Across the Lake, I really hope that is my worst book of the year. I did do another 2-star recently. I feel like it might have been, was it this month? If it is, obviously I won't talk about it here. No, so it must have been, oh yeah, The Woman Who Lied by Claire Douglas. I read that in March. That was boring. The House Across the Lake, I actively wanted to throw across the room. Like, it was just annoying. Okay, so most read genre so far is fantasy. Again, nobody saw this on my 2024 bingo card. A lot of what I've read this year has been fantasy or fantasy adjacent. But it just seems to be where my brain's at the moment. So I'm really interested to see how and if that changes over the rest of the year. But yeah, at the moment, my most read genre is the genre that if you'd said to me 2 years ago, what don't you read? I would have said fantasy. So yeah, that's also a little bit of a twist to the story for us. Next question is a book that surprised you. It's this again. I read this as a kid and then never read the main trilogy and was never bothered about reading the main trilogy. And then I saw Gavin do his Hobbit vlog where he went and stayed in a Hobbit hole for a week, which by the way looks just so ideal. Like, it's just such a gorgeous vlog as well. Go and watch it. It's funny, it's cozy, it's interesting. It's one of my favourite videos he's ever done. So please go and watch that. I will link that as well in the description. But he completely sold these books to me. And I thought, I'll reread The Hobbit, and then if I don't feel like reading the main trilogy, I don't have to. reread The Hobbit, gave it 5 stars, absolutely loved it. I've also read The Fellowship of the Ring, which I finished in April, so that'll be coming in my April vlog. And then I'm currently reading The Two Towers, and I'm just having the absolute best time. The writing is gorgeous, the descriptions of food, the found family, the adventure. I'm just completely obsessed with this whole entire world now, and I'm so happy that Gavin did that vlog, because I never would have picked it up by myself. So yeah, this has been a book that surprised me in a good way this year, and I'm so happy to have read it. Okay, next question is a book that's come out in 2024 already that you want to read but haven't yet. And I was looking at my shelves. I seem to be in a bit of a backlist mood at the moment. And technically this book isn't out yet because it's not out till August, but it is a 2024 release that I'm really excited for. I was very kindly sent it by Book Break in exchange for an honest review. And that is the new Casey McQuiston. This is The Pairing. And this just sounds fun and queer and like it's going to be such a great summery read. I really enjoy Casey McQuiston's writing. Like I said, this comes out on the 6th of August, so I'll be reading this in July. And I'll just read you a little bit from the back because this is why I requested it and was very lucky to get sent it. It says, 2 bisexual exes, Theo and Kit, accidentally book the same European food and wine tour and challenge each other to a hookup competition to prove they're over each other. But sometimes a taste of everything only makes you crave what you can't have. And I just think this will just be really fun. And I'm really excited to pick this up. So yeah, this is a 2024 release. Technically it's not out yet, but it will be. And I'm very excited to read it. Okay, there's only a couple more questions left. One goal that you've made that you're succeeding at. As we've said already, my reading goal, I am ahead, or was ahead of that. I'm very much more now ahead of it, come from April. But yeah, I'm on track for my reading goal. Which is really good, and we are doing a really good job of fundraising for the charities on the channel, so I'm really happy and proud of both those things. And then it says one goal you need to focus on. I need to focus on reading the oldest books on my TBR. I realised that them having been sat there for 6-7 months is not the end of the world. Like, people have books on their TBRs that are like been there for like 15 years, which is also fine. But I feel like my reading taste is really changing and evolving a lot at the moment, and I want to make sure that I'm still excited to read the books that I'm bringing in, and that's why I put that kind of 6-month limit on it for this year. So yeah, I want to focus on that and make sure that I'm getting that done, because I don't want to be excited about a book, bring it in, and then it sits there for ages, and then by the time I get to it, I've lost the excitement for it. So yeah, that's the reason behind that goal. And then the last question is one I don't have an answer to, which is really bad. New to you, booktubers, bookstagrammers, booktokers for 2024 you recommend. I don't think I followed anyone new so far this year. I don't do book talk. But if you've got any booktubers specifically that you think that I would like that you don't think I follow, please recommend them in the comments. Let me know who your favourite creators are, because I need to find some new people as well. So yes, please recommend to me some of those. That's the tag, and that's the video. Kind of just a quick catch up, check in on how we're doing. And yeah, I've had some really good reads already this year, and I'm excited to see what the rest of the year brings. Let me know in the comments, are you someone who tracks your reading? How are your reading goals going, if you've set any? What's the oldest book on your TBR as well? I'm just because I'm nosy, and how long has it been there? If you want to, just let me know that you got to this point in the video. If you could leave me, what should we have, a calendar emoji, just so I know that you got to the end of the video. Please subscribe if you would like more of this chaos, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks everyone, bye.